Everyone, today we are going to have another webinar about the 7 step to buy your first rental property for just 5% down. All right, welcome everyone to the webinar. Sorry a little bit if some of you watching at 4 p.m. We have a technical difficulty and I have to go in late, but we're finally here. But today we are going to go through another webinar with the same topic that we have been presenting, and hopefully you have some chance to review those. If not, feel free to watch this video. But if you do have any question, this is a perfect time for us to review the information as well as answer any question that you may have as well. All right, let's dive right into how to buy your rental property, right? Your first rental property ever with just 5% down. So 5% is how much? 400,000 is 20,000. 300,000 is 15,000. 500,000 is 25,000, right? So 5% of the total purchase price, and we'll go through the 7 steps on how you do it. First of all, who I am. So my name is Long Clay. I've been in the real estate business for more than 5 years. I've been helping hundreds of real estate investors, especially those are new to the business, right? I am specialized myself in a new investor, helping younger generation as well as boomer generation and anywhere in all ages getting started with their real estate career, specialized in helping the newer how do I say it? A newer person who started with real estate investing. That's my passionate, and I've been fortunate helping a lot of people. And today I'm gonna go through the 7 steps that we can purchase your investment home. Okay, and here's, you already know, if you are attending this webinar, you're probably already aware of some of the benefit of owning a real estate, owning a property, a financial freedom, passive income, tax advantages. You have the control over your investment, right? You don't have to wait on the market. You don't, like, for example, some of you may invest in stock, right? Then you don't have any control, all right? You can do some due diligence to see whether the company perform well or not and make the decision whether you should buy or not. But whatever the CEO do to that company is of an unknown, right? Thing could happen in the future. A CEO can be changed in the future, right? So you don't know. And then even if you know, you cannot have any control besides selling your stock. And maybe sometime at that time it's too late, right? So with owning a property, you have full power of the control with that property. You can increase the rent, you can do renovation, you can don't have to do the renovation, whatever you feel comfortable at the time that you're owning the property. All right, so those are the benefit, and here's more benefit as well. If you have any questions regarding those, let me know. We'll have more detail. The reason why I don't go over these in detail, because that is not the purpose of today's conversation. Today's conversation is about the 7 baby steps that can help you buy the first investment property in just 5 days. And here's the high level overview of the 7 steps. All right. Number 1, you save 1,000. Number 2, you pay off your bad debt. Number 3, you save for 5%. That is the requirement for you to buy the property. And number 4, you buy your primary home with that 5%. Number 5, you share a room, earn extra income. Number 6, refinance, get the cash back, get back the capital that you invest into the deal. And number 7, you buy the second home and rent out the first one fully. All right, so those are at the very high level, and if you feel you understand the entire 7 step already, great, I'm glad. Let's go buy some real estate, right? But if you still confused a little bit, for example, like, why is it 1,000? Why do I have to pay off bad debt? How much is the 5%, right? What do I do with share a room? How about I'm not comfortable with sharing a room? What could we do, right? Then stick around and I will give you all the information that I'm going to share in the next couple slides. Okay, with that, let's dive right into step number 1. Step number 1 is save $1,000. Okay, some of you might think, what are you gonna do with that $1,000 loan? That's not that is no money at all. So what are you gonna do with that? The answer is it. So here's the thing: when you owning a real estate, okay, you are taking on a lot of responsibility, financial responsibility, maintenance responsibility, uh, and therefore you have to be prepared for those situations. Okay, especially if you are a new investor as well, you haven't been through the process of owning such a big property like that, and therefore my recommendation is that you prove to yourself that you can take on the responsibility by save up for $1,000. Now if you cannot save up for $1,000, then what do? Don't buy a house, right? Because the 1,000, here's the thing. We want to start with 1,000 because that is a small enough number to encourage you and give you some momentum. Okay, that's not a big number. Especially in nowadays market with the inflation, you cannot do a lot of things with the 1,000 doesn't give you a lot of. It's still a good amount of money, but when you compare with the buying a house process, it's not much. Okay, so the 1,000 is not much, but it gives you the good starting point. It's easy for you to save up. It's supposed to easy for you to save up, and when you are able to do that, you can prove to yourself, you can prove to your family, you can prove to your friends that I am now at a different level because I used to not be able to save up even $100 or $200 a month, but now I have in my bank account $1,000. So I'm ready for the next challenging, right? It also trains you to become more responsible and therefore ready for the next 6 steps to owning a property. All right. So that's number one. Save $1,000. What is step number two? Step number two is you are going to pay off your debt. All right. And I only think that you should only pay off the bad debt. Okay. What do I mean by bad debt versus good debt, right? The bad debt at the high level is the one that you have to pay more than the amount that you actually owe, right? For example, if the credit card, right? If you go buy a house by grocery for $200, and if you don't pay off those $200 at the end of the month, you're gonna be charged interest on that $200. So it's become maybe $225 next month, and then eventually it's gonna be more and more and more as well, right? So those are considered bad debt. Another example is buying a car, right? Taking a loan to buy a car, because when you buy $20,000 car, right? You have to let's say if you take on the $20,000 loan for the car, then every month you have to pay interest on that loan, right? So the value, the total amount that you pay at the end maybe become 30,000, for example, right? Or 25,000, for example, right? And then, would not to mention that the value of the car is also dropping as well as you drive the car, right? So you even worse and worse and worse. So the amount that you actually pay is way much more than the value of the asset. Okay. What about the good debt? Some example of the good debt is that the good debt is something that you owe. You still owe the money, but you buy something that make money for you. For example, it's similar to the car loan, right? If you take on the car loan so that you can buy the car, so that you can rent it out on Toro, or you can do Uber, or you can do Lyft, right? To make money from that asset, that become the good debt because you actually use that debt to generate more money for yourself, and that consider good debt. Okay, so in step two, I would recommend that you only pay off a bad debt. I know there's a lot of course, if you have the ability to pay off good debt as well, that's even better, but you don't have to. I think as long as you can generate income from those debts, that should be okay, right? Because I don't want you to, for example, if you are driving Uber for an income and now you sell off the car and therefore you pay off the loan and you cannot you pay off the loan by selling off the car and therefore you will not be able to make income. So that's become unrealistic, right? So but first focus on paying off the bad debt. The way that we do that is just to specify the list of the debts that you have and just go from the smallest amount to the largest amount. Okay, some of you may say, hey, the largest amount is actually could charge me less interest, more interest, so I should pay those first. Well, here's the thing. I want to start with you with small step at the time. Remember step number 1 when we talk about saving up 1,000. Step number 2, I don't want you to be too much stretch. I don't want you to pay the $20,000 loan right away. But maybe take on something smaller, maybe something like 1,500 or 2,000 for that, and then you're gonna take to the next step later. Take smaller step is easier, gives you more motivation and faster to reach the goal, and therefore you're gonna be more likely to keep the plan versus if you pay too much and then you feel tired and you never see anything go down, right? Then you don't want to do that anymore, right? So that's steps number 2. And the other benefit of paying off the bad debt is really when you lower your bad debt, your debt to income ratio is actually go higher, go lower, right? And the lower the debt to income ratio, the more likely you are able to approve for a mortgage. And I think that's the main reason why we want to pay off bad debt, to prepare you financially for the next step, for the step number 4, when you actually have to buy the house, right? So after you pay off the bad debt here, I'm a little bit go ahead of myself in my slide here, but this is basically what I just told you, okay? And step number 3 is what you are going to do is you are going to save for the 5% down. Okay, that is the requirement for this webinar, right? You have to have a minimum of 5% down to buy a house. You can save up for more if you want, but I think at 5% is a good start for you if you are able to find a house that can generate income. We'll talk about income later as well. But 5% is a good number for you to start with a brand new house at the beginning. Okay, so how much is 5%? Okay, 5%, I mean, if you want to find out that amount number, it really depends on the area that you want to buy a house. Perhaps this is a time that you should reach out to an agent to find out, okay, to talk to them about your goal, to talk to them about your strategy, so that he or she can recommend you the best area for you to own the property based on that strategy, right? And based on that conversation, you are able to find out the area. Based on the area, the agent should be able to find out the average home price in that area. For example, if they say for 50,000, then you just reverse engineer, do the math, right? Do the 5,000. So that's maybe 22,500, right? Or if it is a $500,000 area, then you have to have a 25,000. All right, so that is how you do it in step number 3. And believe me, as you see in step 1, 2, and 3 is going bigger and bigger. You start with only 1,000, and then the step number 2 is the amount of debt that you owe, and then step number 3 is the actual money that you are going to use to buy the house in step number 4. All right, but here's the thing: you are going to buy the primary home. Okay, some of you may think, Long, you lied to me. You said that I'm going to buy investment home. Why are we talking about buying a primary home right now? Because here's the thing: when you only have $5,000, right? You cannot buy an investment home. An investment home requires a minimum of 20% down. Okay, when you identify as a investment home, okay, that is financial requirement to buy investment home. But the reason why I tell you to buy a primary home is that because you haven't had any experience with buying investment before. or not to mention property before, right? So buying a primary home gives you the chance to understand the process of buying a home. All right, you're gonna be familiar with how to look at houses, how to see the house inside, how to write the contract, how the agent can help you negotiate the contract, negotiate the purchase price, negotiate the inspection period. How you are talking about inspection period? How are we gonna inspect the property? How are we gonna sign on the property? How are we gonna wire the money to title to pay for the down payment, right? So those are all every steps that I just mentioned. You're gonna learn that from buying the primary home. Now, without thinking about whether it's gonna give you a good return on investment or not. So you buying a home itself is already complicated, and if you want to add on top of the complicated process by another complicated process, which is evaluate, underwrite the deal to see whether it makes sense or not, right? It's going to be even more stressful for you. Okay, that's why I recommend you to buy a primary home. But we are not done here yet. Remember, we're only in step 4. We're only halfway through, right? The other reason why I recommend you to buy a primary home is um is because you can share a room. You can actually earn extra income by owning a house, right? But by owning a house, for example, if you buy a house with 4 bedrooms and you only live in you or your family, if you have any, live only like 2 or 3 bedrooms, and then you have one extra room, then you can rent out that room. You can do a short-term rental, you can do a long-term rental for that room, right? You can share an average sharing a room in Maricopa, Arizona, Maricopa County, Arizona nowadays is from $600 to $700 a room already, depending on the condition and depending on whether you pay for the utilities or not, right? And then if you are able to do the short-term rental Airbnb on, you can earn even more extra on that on the good months, right? So those are the money. Why do we have to do that? Those are the money that you can save on top of the income you have still with a W-2 job or with a 1099 job, like the regular income that you earn, right? To be able to prepare for step 6 and 7, which is more fun, by the way. Okay, and then you can apply to what the saving money toward the down payment for the next house. Okay, um, now some of you may think, okay, I'm not comfortable with sharing a room with a stranger. And here's a tip: don't. Don't do it. Okay, don't share a room if you're not feeling comfortable with it. You just have to take a little bit longer time to and also have to work a little bit harder to save up for the next house, right? And that's totally fine because you already have the property. So it's really depend on how dedicated you are with the process to make it faster. But I'm sure that since you already go over step 1, save 1,000, step 2, pay off the debt, step 3, save up 5% down payment, you already mentally prepare and financially prepare for the next step. It's going to be very easy for you to do so, okay? Even without sharing a room. So like I said, step 5 is a good reason for you to have a property as you stay, right? Because if you don't buy a house, you have to pay for rent, and that rent go to the landlord and you earn no extra, right? If you do this step, you buy a house, the house become yours, and you can share a room and to get extra income. And in step 6, if you have a good equity, okay, if you have a good equity growth, appreciation, you will be able to do the refinance, get the cash out. Okay, for example, if you buy a house that maybe $400,000 or 500, let's use a even number, $500,000, right? And then a year from now, it's go up to 550. Then the extra part, okay, you can use it as you can refinance, get the extra and $100,000, and then use that toward the down payment of the next house. All right, so that $100,000 is not your money. It's just the property itself is growing, right, in value, and therefore you are able to get the cash back. So step 5 and 6 is actually helping each other, right? Step 5 and 6 and helping each other. If you are able to share a room and earn a lot of cash already by doing that, save a lot of cash already by doing that, you can skip step 6. You don't have to do step 6 if you have enough money. Or if you say the appreciation of your property is way much more, increase a lot, then you can do the refinance and get the cash out right away and then use that as down payment. The idea of step 5 and 6 is to get you to the down payment for the next house, okay, for the next house. And that is the step 7 here. You can go buy the second house as a primary home, okay, as a primary home, and then rent out the first house as 100%. And that is how you own the first rental property for only 5%. Because remember, when you do the first house, you only put out 5%. You only put out 5% in step number 4 to buy the first house. Now you can use that. You can move on to the second house. With the down payment you save up in step 5 and step 6. And now you rent a house, the first house, free and clear. All right. So that is the 7 steps that I want to show you how to own the property. Let's go over the 7 steps again. Number 1, owning the property outright. Okay, sorry. Number 1, not owning the property outright. Sorry. That is like step 17 or 15. Okay. Number 1, you save up $1,000. Okay. Number 2, you pay off the bad debt. Okay. Number 3, you save up for 5% so that you can use as a down payment. Number 4, you buy the primary home so that you can learn the process on how to go buy a house. Okay. And number 5 is you actually gonna share a room, get some extra income to save up for the next down payment. Or number 6, if the value of the home increase, then you can do the refinance, cash out, get those cash as a down payment for the next house as well. And last but not least, buy the second primary home and rent out the first home as a rental property 100%. All right, so those are the 7 steps at the high level. Now, if you do have any question regarding on these steps and want me to clarify the information, feel free to comment below, and or maybe just privately DM me and I will respond to your question also. Thank you so much everyone for watching the today episode. I appreciate all of your attendance and I'm looking forward for the next episodes. If you feel this one has useful information, feel free to share the video to any of your family member so that they know about this. You share it with your friends, family members, everyone that you feel on the market of buying a home right now and on the market of wanting to invest in real estate. Thank you again and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the vibrant city of Chandler, Arizona, a place where investment opportunities are as abundant as the sunshine.
Hello, I am Long Lei, your go-to realtor here in the heart of Chandler. I specialize in helping new investors to acquiring exceptional investment properties here in this dynamic city.
With a deep understanding of the local market and a passion for real estate, Long Lei is dedicated to finding the perfect investment for every client.
Whether you are investing in single-family home or multi-family unit,
I'm here to provide you with a personalized service that aligns with your investment goals.
Benefit from Long Lei's expertise in market trends, property valuation, and investment strategies, ensuring your journey into real estate investment is both profitable and enjoyable.
Chandler is not just a place to invest in, but it is also a community to be a part of. From its welcoming neighborhood to its thriving business landscape, there's no better place to start your investment journey. So, let's embark on this exciting journey together. I am Long Lei, your local real estate expert in Chandler and Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm here to make your dream a success reality.